The Amazon is a place that's literally teeming with a variety of animals. Here you can encounter different creatures, from a very large but stealthy snake to Dracula of the animal world, as well as an anteater with its amazing stand. In this episode, you'll see these and other of the Amazon's rarest and most unusual animals. Let's go! Mysterious creature. In the depths of the thick Amazon jungle, a group of explorers set out on an expedition, hoping to discover new secrets of nature. They were burning with the desire to discover an unknown creature and learn more about the world around us. One day, while traveling, the explorers came across a very strange phenomenon. In the shade of the dense vegetation, they noticed a silhouette desperately clinging to a tree. As they got closer, they were surprised to find a creature very different from anything they'd seen before. The creature was about the same height as the explorers, but its body was covered with smooth, shiny skin of an unusual light blue hue. It stood on two legs and had two five-fingered hands, very similar to human hands. Its eyes were large and marvelously beautiful, with shades of green and purple. None of the group of scientists could imagine how such a creature could have ended up in the Amazon jungle. However, instead of fear or uncertainty, they felt only deep curiosity and a desire to learn more about their unusual neighbor. It's not known how this story ended, but I personally think that such a picture, as well as the story, may be real. We all know about the Amazon region and the various creatures that live there. What do you think about it? Is the picture real as well as the story? Or is it nothing more than someone's fiction? Common vampire bat. Desmodus, as well as big bloodsucker. These are the alternative names scientists have given to this uncommon, or wait a minute, just the opposite, common vampire. In captivity, this bloodsucker exists for about 12 years, which is quite a long time if you take into account its lifestyle. It hunts exclusively at night. It'd be strange if it were otherwise. So when it flies hunting, it tries to locate potential prey. It could be anyone. The main thing is that the target is large enough, appetizing, and at the same time asleep. When such an object for sucking blood is found, the common vampire bat lands on its body or sits down next to it and climbs up on foot. In its nasal passages, there's a sensitive thermal receptor which allows it to easily determine the ideal place for a bite. Most often, it's some point on the neck or in the ear area where there's a lot of capillaries. However, the common vampire bat doesn't bite its target immediately, as in some horror movies. First, he hit the area with its saliva. In 10 to 15 minutes, the area will no longer be felt by the prey. The effect is like anesthesia. Thus, the prey will not wake up and will not prevent the vampire from saturating itself with blood. The next stage is the cleansing of the area. It's important to drink clean blood, not some dirty hairs or wool. The big bloodsucker chews off the wool in the place of the bite and makes a small cut with its sharp incisors, from which the blood starts to ooze abundantly. The common vampire bat puts a folded tongue into the wound, and the blood flows into the animal's mouth without clotting. It takes about half an hour to satiate, during which time the vampire drinks about 2 ounces of blood, 1.5 times its own weight. Southern Tamandua. And this mammal is from the anteater family, although personally it reminds me more of a bear. The body length of this beautiful creature does not exceed 35 inches. Its tail reaches 20 inches in length, and it weighs 9 to 11 pounds. It seems that such strange size will not allow the animal to lead a particularly active lifestyle, but this isn't so. The creature has learned to perform such tricks on trees that it can be included in some acrobatics team. And all this despite the fact that apart from ants and termites, the southern tamandua doesn't eat anything. Yes, sometimes wild bees can be eaten by it, but no more. However, when you have a mouth the diameter of a pencil, you can't eat anything bigger than a bug. But the harness-shaped 16-inch long tongue is a real gift of God for the mentioned arthropods. Give this mammal just one day, and it will eliminate at least 9,000 ants. And that's despite the fact that this four-legged mammal doesn't just eat any ants. Some species can attack it, and it'll be difficult for the southern tamandua to fight back. But don't think that this mammal is weak and can do nothing but tricks on trees. That's not so. Behind his cute appearance, there's a real power in the form of 4-inch-long claws, with which it easily opens up termite mounds like tin cans. Other inhabitants of the area see this very well, and for this reason do not risk attacking the anteater. If he uses its claws so easily and opens up termite mounds, then it will not be difficult for it to inflict serious injuries on them. Therefore, no one wants to mess with the southern tamandua. Bald Aucari. This is the name of a New World primate species from the Pithecidae family, the main distinguishing feature of which is a red, hairless face. It's no coincidence that locals constantly joke that a bald Aucari is a sunburned tourist. These primates live in South America in the Amazon River basin. Their range includes rainforests in Brazil and Colombia. These creatures can definitely be considered socially adapted. They constantly form groups that can total from 6 to 30 individuals. They feed on fruit, but sometimes they can also eat seeds or insects. The primates with an unusual appearance live near water, where there's dense vegetation. They come down to the ground quite rarely, either when they have problems with food above or if they want to pick up some fallen fruit after the rainy season. By the way, we somehow quickly skipped the part with unusual coloration of their face. Do you know what caused it? The thing is that the epidermis of their face has no pigment, but the capillary network can be perfectly seen through it. It's the blood vessels that give the bald Aucari such incredible coloration. Bushmaster. The alternative name for this snake is the surucucu. It's the largest representative of South America venomous snakes of the viper's family. Fortunately for people, there are not so many contacts with the Bushmaster in history. The fact is that the snake mostly lives where there are almost no people. At the same time, it's characterized by a solitary lifestyle. However, no one and nothing can escape from the sensitive gaze of people. The Aborigines said that these creeping creatures are definitely worth being wary of. Growing up to 13 feet in length and having several venomous teeth up to 1.5 inches long, the snake knows no fear. Despite this, it doesn't get into a fight, but instead prefers deliberate and careful tactics. Whenever it sticks out its tongue, it collects odors from the air, leaves, and soil. The tongue transmits this chemical information to sensory organs located on the snake's head. It's called the Jacobson's organ. And then the data goes to the brain. The snake learns who passed here and how long ago they did it, and can easily find them if it wanted to. Not a single animal or other poor creature appetizing to the Bushmaster will go unpunished. However, if the prey's passed here long ago, running after it's a bad idea. So Surucucu begins to wait. The snake's patience is incredible, so much so that it can wait in one position for days or even a week. At this point, it will spend extremely little energy. Amazonian umbrella bird. The males of this species are considered one of the largest passerines in all of South America. They can weigh from 21 ounces and grow up to 22 inches in length. If any of you want to encounter this beautiful bird, you should know that it doesn't go below 2,600 feet above sea level. It's not difficult to find the bird because it has a beautiful black plumage and a hairstyle that would be the envy of Elvis Presley himself. However, the main feature of the Amazonian umbrella bird is undoubtedly this strange thing sticking straight out of its neck. In fact, it's far from being a simple outgrowth, but a full-fledged throat sac, growing up to 14 inches in length. It's not difficult to guess that, because of such a large thing, the Amazonian umbrella bird is not very fond of flying. Mostly it gets to the point it needs and travels on foot. These birds try their best to remain hidden and unnoticed to others, silently eating fruit, bugs, spiders, lizards, and other creatures that the jungle will send them. However, when Amazonian umbrella birds reach their mating season, they no longer hide their location. On the contrary, they try to tell the whole world where they are at the moment. And first of all, of course, they call females. Males make a piercing screech, which is something between a lion's roar and a lamb's bleat. Golden poison frog. And this frog that's about to be discussed, I would call a total overabundance of poison. Why? Well, the fact that one touch is enough to kill 250 adults. At the same time, the frog is very hard to find. Yes, it's bright yellow, but it's only 0.7 to 1.5 inches long. Such a tiny body contains a full-fledged nerve poison called batrachotoxin, the lethal dose of which for humans is only 2 micrograms. And the frog can contain a whole milligram of poison. That is 500 lethal doses. A human accidentally touched its skin? Deadly poisoning is assured. Why is it so poisonous? The main version is that the frog gets poison from local toxic insects that it feeds on. What does a fish that's 100 times more dangerous than a piranha look like? Keep watching and you'll see the alien fish with 2 jaws, as well as fish with the deadliest venom. And we'll start right away with a rather large fish, which can give a head start to many others in terms of teeth. Its size can weigh up to 110 pounds, and its length exceeds 4.2 feet. With such an impressive size, the fish has as many as 32 teeth, each of which, without exception, can be compared to razor-sharp fangs. Because of its wide jaw and strong grip, it's almost unrealistic to get out of the mouth of the Goliath tigerfish, and therefore it rightly takes the position of one of the most dangerous fish in the world. Also, because of its very aggressive behavior, local fishermen often try to catch the Goliath tigerfish. This is a kind of challenge for them. However, not everyone succeeds. Maximum 1 out of 10 people can do it. This creature can chew up a fishing rod, swim against the current, and generally do everything that comes into its head. Payara. This creature, unlike the tigerfish, is not capable of surprising by its large size. However, it doesn't need it. After all, the Payara has huge fangs, which grow mainly from the lower jaw. By the way, it's because of these long and sharp teeth the fish was given the nickname vampire fish. However, the fangs are not the only thing the Payara can surprise you with. It's also capable of jumping out of the water quite impressively. The fish moves very fast and solves any problem with brute force. In short, this is a real bull, which if it sees the target will go right after it no matter what. Even a piranha can be handled by a Payara if it's in a bad mood. Although this species has become known for its terrifying fangs, it also has sharp, spike-like teeth all around its mouth. Even considering that the fangs only reach 4 to 6 inches in length, they're so dangerous that there are 2 small holes on the upper jaw, where these fangs sort of slide in when the fish closes its mouth so as to not injure itself. Red lionfish. If the previous creatures at first sight instilled fear and the realization that it's better not to mess with them, then everything's quite the opposite with this fish. I don't know about you, but I want to touch it. It's too beautiful. It has an unusual coloring, and it's even miniature. However, if I touched it, probably I'd be in trouble. After all, the red lionfish is very dangerous. It's dangerous with its venom, which lurks in the spines hiding under its fins. When the fish senses the danger, it begins to quickly spread the venomous fins and then actively attack, trying to prick the opponent. A curious fact, although this fish is very dangerous, it's still very popular as a fish for the aquarium. People are attracted by its amazing appearance. But what kind of fish you obviously don't want to keep in an aquarium is a moray eel. This huge creature, as thick as an adult's thigh and up to 10 feet long, can weigh up to 66 pounds. It has slime on its sides, allowing it to easily penetrate into a variety of caves and shelters. But the main feature of the fish, as you know, is not that. It's ranked among the most dangerous fish because of the real double jaw. The first one is where it should be, and the second one is in the area of the throat. That's why there's a legend that the moray was the prototype for the monster from the Alien movie, which had a second extending jaw. The principle of hunting of this unusual creature is quite simple. The moray waits for the night, hides in a shelter where it can't be seen, and as soon as the prey will swim by, it'll make a lightning lunge and swallow the prey. Speaking of preys, the moray is called the sea orderly. Do you know why? It turns out that these fish do not disdain to eat weak or sick fish. Moreover, these fish have been known as dangerous creatures since ancient times. In ancient Rome, there was even a corresponding execution. Unfortunate people were thrown into the pool with moray eels, and people watched the unequal battle, in which the victim was doomed. Before the brutal execution, the predators were practically not fed and accustomed to the smell of blood. Phew! I think the degree of tension has risen a bit. Let's change the subject and look at a variety of unusual fish, including the most venomous one, a unique fish that crawls out on land, and even the fastest fish in the world. It's going to be interesting. Stonefish. When you hear the name, you're unlikely to match it to any of the above. It feels like all this fish does is lie motionless at the bottom of the ocean. But the first impression, as is usually the case, is deceptive. This predatory creature is eager to suck its prey into its bottomless mouth alive, or poison it without any chance of escape. All the more so, the stonefish never has a problem with positioning at all. It's become so adept at its business that it's almost unrealistic to distinguish it from its inanimate namesake. The stonefish easily hides at the bottom and waiting for the right moment to attack the fish it likes. Actually, it would be wrong to call it an attack. This is where it all ends up much faster. One big nom and the prey's already in the bottomless stomach of the stonefish. At the same time, it's impossible to eat the fish itself. First of all, you have to find it. And secondly, this creature will gladly pierce all the enemies with its venomous spikes, located along the entire perimeter of the dorsal fin. By the way, the stonefish is considered the most venomous fish in the world. Even a human can fall into its trap, and the trap will be very painful. The fact is that the venom of this fish is complex and hits both the heart muscle and the nervous system. Without timely medical aid, the person will die rather quickly. Climbing perch. And this is a fish that is insanely, simply, terribly dangerous. And the paradox is that it's dangerous not so much because of its power, but because of the imbalance that the climbing perch brings to the world. The fact is that the creature has not long been settled in Australia, even though it's originally from Southeast Asia. And all because a feature of the climbing perch is the ability to get out on land. And then all the scientists sounded the alarm. The fact is that this fish is a very difficult prey. Many animals don't know it at all, don't understand this danger. As a result, snakes, rodents, birds, and anyone can try to eat the climbing perch. However, the attempt will be unsuccessful almost 100% of the time. This fish has an extremely effective defense measure. In addition to the sharp fins, the fish also has spines behind the gill covers. If someone decides to swallow this fish whole, it'll pay with its life. The climbing perch blocks the airways and doesn't let the predator spit itself back out. Thus, for example, snakes that have no idea what kind of fish it is will die one after one. And in the long run, it'll result in a disruption of the natural environment. It'll take at least a few years for the animals to get used to it. Hi-ho! The animals don't know that the little fish merely learned to get out on dry land. Who would have thought that it would cause so many problems and troubles? And the funny fact is the fish doesn't just go on land. It often has to move to another body of water. Snailfish. Next up is an inhabitant of all the oceans from the Arctic to the Antarctic. And not just any inhabitant, but an inhabitant of the depths. Despite its name, this is not some mollusk, but a real fish which has the title of the deepest vertebrate on the planet. By the way, its own body doesn't allow it to rise to the surface. It's too fragile for this process. The snailfish is permanently stuck at its depth. Its body prevents it from rising higher, and it's physically unrealistic to go lower, according to scientists. The fact is that below its depth, the fish would not be able to withstand the pressure. To give you an idea of how high pressure there is, the snailfish lives in an environment which pressure can be equated to the weight of 1,600 elephants. In such an environment, the fish swim normally, carry eggs that are about 0.3 inches in diameter, and eat all kinds of crustaceans. Curiously, living under such pressure, this fish has developed a number of adaptations that help it survive in the depths of the Pacific Ocean. It has extra genes to repair DNA and produce a chemical that stabilizes key proteins. It has also lost many of the genes responsible for its sense of smell, possibly due to limited dietary diversity. Sailfish. This fish is easily recognized from thousands of others. Let's thank its bright and large sail, after which it got its name. In addition, the name is quite symbolic because the sailfish is considered the fastest fish in the world. It's very difficult to see the fish swimming near the surface of the water with its sail unfurled and sticking out of the water. It's noteworthy that the fish spreads its dorsal fin only when strongly excited, and the height of the fin itself is twice the height of the fish's body. This fish is an illustration of how air intakes and spoilers on cars work. When it picks up speed, its fin kinda folds up. And when the sailfish turns, the fins instantly straighten and the fish changes its trajectory. This fish is considered the fastest one due to the fact that, thanks to its body structure, it can reach speeds of up to 68 miles per hour. The secret of success lies in its adaptation. The sailfish has learned to create special eddies behind the tail. Not only its body structure helps it in this, but also its sword-shaped upper jaw. That's all, guys. Which fish impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.